Hey, what's going on, guys? It is the Nicholas Persakis Chelsea Football Channel, and welcome back today for the match preview of Chelsea versus Brighton, Saturday, 10 a.m. here, Eastern Time of the United States. So, this is a game where we're going into it feeling confident in our abilities, most definitely confident in our abilities. Chelsea fans haven't felt this way about I should say, our team in about 2.5, 3 years since we played in the Champions League was the last time we have felt confident in this team's ability to get wins. We're on a stretch where we've won 3 games in a row, 3 games with a clean sheet, 9 goals, 0 goals conceded. It's a ridiculous time, bit of period that we're going in right now. I mean, we're playing now a Brighton team, which we've had the number of. We beat them 4 times last season with the preseason game added in. you know, we've had their number. We've had their number. Absolutely had their number in the last few seasons, of course. But this is a grudge match game. In my opinion, this is a game where both teams are teams that uh obviously produce a lot of chances and score. This Brighton team has been not the greatest defensively when it comes to well, they've been okay defensively, but the thing is they concede a lot of chances. They barely I think they have I don't want to say they have 6 goals allowed this season, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 goals allowed. But the thing is, they allow a lot of chances, and especially in this game, to a team we're still trying to develop our defense, and they're a team that's been really good attacking this season. I think this is a game that could easily be a high scoring affair. And do I think so? I think it will be a high scoring affair. However, let's talk about the press conference. Enzo Maresca talked in the press conference about players' health. Malo Gusto, of course, is back. Reese is still out, but Romeo Lavia is indeed going to be back for this game. Do I think he'll start right away? No, a little bit of a spoiler, but I don't think he's going to start right away going into this game. I think that we will I think that we are going to see the same pivot we've seen in every other game. Um, Enzo and Caicedo. I think that'll be the same pivot. I think Lavia will come off the bench. I think, in a way, you don't like to rush him back after he's missed, I think, around almost 8 weeks, maybe 6 to 8 weeks due to the injury, recurring injury. But I think in a way, you got to get him involved. You got to get him up and running. But it's a great sign that we have him back. And that means there's only one player left on our injured list for the current moment in time. Of course, you don't like to, add extras. Reece James is the only guy who's still on there, and he didn't give us any timetable, which it's not a good sign. Let's put it this way. It's not a good sign. What's something they said it was minor. They said it was minor. It might have been minor, but either if he started playing on the pitch, it hasn't progressed. It hasn't gotten any better. It's stayed the same, it seems like. So if I had to guess, like Reece isn't going to be back for at least another month or two. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is a game where, like I said, we're going to be excited going into it. I've got good feelings, but I've also got feelings that we could get tonked. Um, but I like to stick with my guns. I think that this the way this team's looking right now. Our half Brighton, half Chelsea team, is a good shot. But of course, I say half Brighton team because of Rob Sanchez, because of Caicedo, because of Cucurella. We've taken a lot of their players, their backroom staff, a lot of their ideas in a way. So that's a reason that Brighton in recent years have despised us because we've taken their in a way we've used their club culture, I guess, or their club dynamic to improve ourselves. But in a way, I think this is it's going to be a really tough match. Let's get straight into these lineups. We'll see what we got working. This is the lineup I have predicted for this game. Literally not much changes from the game against Wolves, or not Wolves. What am I talking about? West Ham, same letter, but um, Sanchez in net, Cucurella on the left, Colwell, Fofana, Gusto, Fernandes, Caicedo, Sancho, Palmer, Madueke, and Jackson. The changes we made, and obviously in this one, are pretty clear. It is the only change from that last game, and that being the right back. I think we just need to see our actual right back come back into the lineup. It depends on what Enzo Maresca wants to do in this one, but in my opinion, um, I think you need a right back playing. Fofana wasn't bad in that West Ham game, but he wasn't good. Tosin was very good in that West Ham game. but I think he wants to keep the center back pairing going in that center defense with Colwell and Fofana. They've played really good, well, somewhat good together. Fofana has had his moments this season, but Colwell, his teammate, trusts him. Fofana has talked about how much he trusts Colwell and how much their bromance is basically getting started and has been progressing. Uh, and Enzo himself has said, how much he loves Fofana. He's in love with him. I think is exactly what he said. But Cucurella and Gusto, it's a debate between who we think will be inverting in this one. However, as much as we all want to see Cucurella invert in this one, I think we could see Gusto be the guy who inverts into that midfield. The reason I say that is because we saw it in the Barrow game, is where we saw Gusto invert. He went into that midfield. Him and Vega were doing very similar movements. But after I was looking back at the first half of the Barrow game, I noticed that Gusto was doing a lot of getting forward work, which I was a little surprised with when I watched it back. I really wasn't paying attention to it. But Cucurella, as we know, absolutely was spectacular in that inverted role against the West Ham. So, it's going to have a lot of question marks in the mind of Enzo Maresca. He knows the quality of his players. Will he make them invert, or will he decide, okay, this is a different team, this is a different lineup, let's try a different type of tactic out? We could easily see someone invert like we have been, or we could maybe see them do the underlap. Maybe we'll see Cucurella go with Sancho again, like we did in the Bournemouth game. Maybe we'll just see Gusto invert. Maybe we'll see him do the same thing. Maybe we'll have dual right backs inverting or overlap. There's a good chance at it. But if we don't see that, I think in this game there's a good chance we will see the inversion. And I think in that case it's gonna be the way we've normally seen it. I think it's gonna be the box in the midfield look like this. I think we're gonna have that 3-2-4-1 structure. I think that Gusto will be the end up guy that does push into that midfield alongside Caicedo. As much as I would actually prefer to see it be Cucurella, because I think him and Caicedo in that midfield just work out so much better. Um, but at the end of the day, I think either structure will work and either structure will benefit us. Sanchez stays in net, of course. I didn't touch on him, but Sanchez will stay in net, of course, because of his amazing showings. They rate him, I think, as the top goalie in the Prem right now, based off of ratings and based off of certain aspects of the goalie position. It's incredible stuff in my eyes. It's absolutely incredible stuff. Um, you know, Hopefully this sticks and he doesn't just start getting washed up all of a sudden. We'd prefer to see a player succeed as much as we talk crap about them. We don't think they're good. We think they should be sold. I mean, I was an advocate of Robert Sanchez's sale this offseason. Instead, he's proven us all wrong. But I'd rather be proven wrong than him be an absolute useless player. So I'm very happy that he's proven me wrong. Again, let's just push it back into the 4-2-3-1 structure so we could talk about the lineup for this one. So Enzo, I thought he had a very good game against West Ham, but I think that the midfield would have stayed the same regardless. Fernandes and Caicedo stay in the midfield. Obviously, Caicedo was absolutely incredible in the West Ham game. Had the most tackles, I think, in a game since around duels won in a game since that. And I think it was Marcus Alonso when he played, and he hasn't played here in a pretty freaking long time. So Enzo Fernandez, I thought, played really well in that game. I think this is a game where we could see if our midfield can win the battle with Brighton. I think we win this game. It's not even a question. They've had some struggles in the midfield this season. So have we. So let's prove our midfield is improving. Palmer, it's no question at this point. I think Palmer stays in that 10 role. If he does move on to that right, I think obviously Nkunku's the one that comes in there, but that's just my personal opinion. But Palmer's been incredible this season. He's still proving why he's the best player in the team. He stays there. Sancho goes on the left. I think he's the starting left winger for this team right now. I think Enzo Maresca likes him in the system the most. I don't think Mudryk did enough in the Barrow game. He thought he played well, but I don't think it was enough to the point where he's gonna force his way into the lineup. Of course, like Maresca said, it's all about competition. You improve, you show your worth, you show your impression. You get the start. It's that simple. Madueke, who I think has been a little bit underwhelming these last few games, is going to start again. I feel like you got to let this guy play. Neto, I thought was very good in the Barrow game, but in a way, I also think that if you're going to rotate these guys, like Pedro Neto said himself, he could have played 90% of the games at Wolves without any competition. He would have played regardless. But here at Chelsea, he has to work for it, and he honestly thinks he said he prefers it more because of the work he has to put in, which is amazing and it's honestly incredible to see that these players want that have that kind of drive right now, which is so good. So Madueke is going to start on that right hand side again. Like Enzo Maresca said though, if after 45 minutes he doesn't like what he's seeing, Madueke can come off. Sancho can come off. Any of those players who's not working can come off, and we have the guys on the bench to sub. Jackson starts up top. Even after the Nkunku hat trick, there's no way I can replace Jackson up top. We forget that he had 2 goals and an assist in the Prem just a week ago. Just a week ago. It's incredible debate, and I'm really hoping it stays throughout the entire season. Because if the debate keeps going, that means both players are performing, and I'd rather both players perform than none of them but perform at all, and we're not getting goals. So that's my lineup for this one. That's the predicted and my preferred lineup of what Maresca will choose. I think there's a pretty good chance that this is the lineup he'll select, and yeah, I think we're in a good shape for this game here tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think. I think my lineup is pretty solid. I think that the only changes I maybe would make to it would be Tosin, maybe Gusto won't start, but I think there's a really good chance that Gusto starts. Of course, I think it was just to get his feet wet in that game on Tuesday. Of course, like you don't like to force guys into the lineup too quickly, but I think that, putting Gusto into this team, or getting him in that game on Tuesday was, like I said, to get his feet wet and get his fitness back up for the game here on Saturday. I think that there was no other way else to put it. Guys I like to see come off the bench in this one, depending on how the results going. I think Romeo Lavia will come off the bench anyway, but I think he's a guy even though it's guaranteed, I think it needs to happen. I think he needs to build his fitness, and I think this would be a good game to do it. Um, I think that he can work that midfield, and once he shows his quality again, it's going to bring up a debate of who starts in that midfield. And again, it's another debate that you want to see. The more guys who are playing well, the more of a challenge it is for Maresca. But it makes it easier in a way for a guy. If all players are playing well, of course it's hard to who's going to be the starter, but in a way you're winning games. So that's all we care. At the end of the day, that's all we care about. That's all we care about is wins, 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 wins. So let me know what you guys think. I think my lineup is pretty solid for this one. Match prediction, I'm going to go out and say a 3-2 Chelsea victory. Like I said, I think it's going to be a grudge match. I think both teams are going to have their chances. I think Chelsea will convert more than them. I think they'll also have a better defensive game, obviously by the scoreline, but I also think that both teams will have their breakaway chances and convert goals out of nothing. So I think that a 3-2 victory for Chelsea is in this one. Make it 4 on the bounce. 4 on the bounce would be incredible based off the results that we had going into previous seasons. And that would push us up to 13 points with a good shot of us being in Champions League, if not staying in the same place for in the table in fifth. Obviously, we're in fifth right now. Sixth place is Brighton with 9. They're 1 point back of us, so that'd be a good result. Let me know what you guys think. I think that's a pretty good match prediction. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you guys in the match review tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon. Thank you. Peace.